my channel. So today I filmed my base makeup routine. People always ask me, how do I make my makeup last all day for oily skin but yet still have a glow? So I'll show you all my top tips for this video. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my tutorials. I'm going to be referring back to this video every single time I do my tutorials now, so I'll just kind of get into the nitty gritty. Without any further ado, if you want to see how I do my base, please keep watching. Alright guys, so let's get started. As you guys can see, my skin hasn't got anything on underneath and it's spotty AF. We need to cover that shit up. You know what I'm saying? So my skin hasn't got anything on at the moment. I'm just going to start off with moisturiser. I'm going to use my favourite at the moment. This is from Cosrx and it's called the Oil-Free Birch Sap Moisturiser. And it's sweet all over my skin. This is one of my favourite moisturisers because it's oil-free, so it's really good for my oily skin, but it still gives so much hydration. Okay, so we're going to go on to primer next. I'm loving two at the moment. This is from Gellar. It's called the Spackle Under Makeup Primer. This is the original one. And I'm also loving the Nars Pore and Shine Primer as well. This one I prefer for all skin types, and this one is better for someone with a bit more oily skin. So I might do a little mixture of both. So I'm going to put the Gellar all over my skin, and then just on my T-zone I'm going to use the Nars one. So the Nars one I'm just going to put mainly on my T-zone wherever I get the most shiny, and this will just help control oil and also help with pores. If you want a primer that's going to really help make your makeup last all day, I also love this one from Hourglass. This is called the Mineral Veil Primer and it's so nice guys if you want your makeup to last really flawless, and it also has SPF in there as well. Okay, so now that I have my primer on, I can feel it's a bit tacky, which is what you want whenever you go for a primer. I'm going to go with my foundation, and I'm loving this Studio Fix foundation at the moment. This is like an old ride or die product. I haven't used this product in a while, but I've been loving it a lot recently. This is in the shade NC30 Studio Fix Fluid. I'm just going to do about 2 pumps of this, and I literally just dot it all over the skin. With MAC they do a more yellow based one which is NC, and then a more pink based one which is NW, so definitely go in there and get your colour matched. I'm going to be using the Morphe Stiletto sponge. This is a little baby one, but I love this one. It's a brand new one as well, so it's nice and fresh for you guys. So I'm going to use the base of the sponge where it's the thickest, and I'm going to press it all over my skin. It's going to take a while because the sponge is fucking small. Alright guys, so I just put on my foundation. I've done about 2 layers. This foundation is really nice because it's super buildable, medium to full coverage. I'm going to show you my foundation routine that I do whenever I go out for the special events. So I want like a full, flawless finish coverage. Yes. I like the foundation, but I'm just going to go on top with my Hourglass Vanish Stick because I love this foundation, especially for nights out because it makes my skin look super flawless. And I just like to just lightly put this on in the centre of my face. Wherever I still feel like I get blemishes peeping through, that's when I kind of put this on. I literally blend into my background right now, this foundation colour. And I just literally pounce all over that because I want it to really blend in with my foundation. And then just underneath my eyes, I do want to brighten underneath there because I like my eyes to look really nice and bright. So I'm going to use my Instant Age Rewind Concealer from Maybelline. And I'm going to use the shade Light. It's a bit lighter than my skin tone. Not too light, probably about 2 shades lighter than my skin. And this is one of my favourite concealer because it literally gives you such a flawless finish with like full coverage, but not too cakey heavy looking. I bring this concealer inside of my nose as well, so it kind of makes my nose a bit more slimmer. On my chin as well, to make my chin look a bit longer. And then back in with the sponge. Let's just dab and go on top. It's all about layering guys. It's similar like eyeshadow. Like when you do eyeshadow you do loads of layers to make sure it's all nice and blended and buffed out. Similar like foundation, you want it to layer up really nicely, do thin layers so that it doesn't kind of just flake off throughout the day and fucking slide off, you know. You have to make sure you prime your skin really well, make sure you use the right type of moisturiser for your skin type. All little things like that will make a difference on how your makeup lasts. Alright guys, because I have a 5-finger forehead, I need to go over cream bronzer to kind of slim all that shit down, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to use this NYX Bright Idea Illuminating Stick, and I just go in with the brush and kind of just go back and forth. You can even use a concealer that's a bit darker than your skin tone, anything that to give you a bronze kind of creamy look. Okay, so I just literally hold my hair back and I just go right into the base of my forehead, anywhere that you want to slim down. If you've got quite like a fat wide forehead, you want to mainly do these bits here, but if you've got like a long forehead that is quite high, you need to go on top here. I literally go all the way around because I feel like I have a bit of both. I just feel like this looks a bit more natural whenever I do flash photography. It just looks like you can't see the rim of foundation along my hairline. And then I just go in with a bit more product and just do a little bit on my cheekbones just to give a bit of shape to my skin. It just gives a base so when I contour. If you prefer a really strong contour, you can just go directly in with the product, but I like it a bit softer, so that's why I'm using a brush and doing this instead of going. So I don't know if you guys can see a difference, but it just gives like that kind of glow. It's not too oily, not too shiny. It's a really nice matte finish. Alright guys, so now that all my foundation and cream bronzer is on, it's time to set this baby. So I'm going to go in with my Deslick powder from Urban Decay. This is just like a pressed powder. Just do a few dabs on the powder, and this is just going to be like a light set. So you want to make sure no creases underneath the eyes. So before you just powder your under eyes, or anywhere you get creases, you need to make sure there's no creases before you set it. So I literally just do like soft patting motions. You don't want to do big sweeps like this because you end up losing your coverage where you want it the most. And this just kind of mattifies, it helps with pores. If you press it in like this, it'll kind of push the powder into the pores to make them look a lot more smaller and minimized. Push that powder in, girl. Alrighty guys, so it totally depends on what my skin is like on the day. If I feel like I want it to be really extremely flawless, then I will go in with a foundation powder. This is Studio Fix powder from MAC, and this is in the colour NC40. This is a product you can actually wear on its own, but on top of foundation, honestly, it just makes your skin look so flawless. I don't set my whole face with this because I prefer to use a translucent and then something like this on top, because I feel like when you put it on top of wet foundation, sometimes it sticks onto it and it goes a bit like chunky and cakey. So when you've got that fine layer of translucent powder on it first, I feel the powder will glide on a lot better. Okay, so now I'm going to start to contour. I'm going to use this product from Kevyn Aucoin. It's the sculpting powder. This is in the shade Light, and this is really nice because it's super cool tone. So it's the perfect product if you just want that kind of definition. You're on no bronzy. It's so good for contouring your nose as well because it's quite a light shade, as you guys can see. It looks like it's going to be quite light, but it does show up. But I just aim it on the top of my ear here, top of this nubbly bit on your ear, and then aim towards the corner of your mouth. And you don't want to bring it down too far because then it makes your face look really angular and masculine. You want it to be quite soft. And I always bring my contouring a bit higher, so I always brush upwards and I don't brush downwards because it'll make my face look really long. You want your cheeks to look nice and lifted, baby. Even when I look at it in real life, it doesn't even look that dark. You guys can see, like, look how light this colour is, and it's giving me that definition already. You want to make sure you use a brush that's quite small. You don't want anything that's too big because it will give you a big fat line on your cheek. You want this bit to be really nice and precise where you put your contour. This is not bronzing, guys. This is contour. So this is just to give you that kind of face shape that you want. And you can use a little bit underneath your chins as well if you've got about 3 chins like me. And then I'm just going to contour my nose. I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush. This is the eyeshadow shader brush from Dose of Colours. And I Love Sari, he said that this is the most amazing brush for nose contouring. And it is really nice because it's quite slim. You can see it's like quite flat, then quite wide at the same time. So I literally just go into the eyebrow. Make sure it's all really nice and blended. I almost want to kind of carve out a new shape. Because the tip of my nose is still quite swollen from my surgery, I want to make sure I don't follow the natural shape because it's quite round. I want to make it look as straight and slim as possible. So I do like a small line. Even though really the side of my nose is about here, I'm bringing it a bit smaller. Bringing it in here rather than leaving it here where my natural side of my nose is. So you guys can see it gives a really soft shadow. It's nothing too harsh whatsoever, which is what you want, especially for nose contouring. Kind of raise my eyebrow to make sure it's all blended in there. And I also kind of look down into the mirror and I go from the side like this and I go straight up. You want to make sure this line is as slim as possible. You don't want like a big fat line in the center of your nose. That'll make your nose look wider. You want that line to be quite small and slim. Okay, so now that we've got our contouring on, I'm going to do a little bit of bronzer. So I'm going to use this product from MAC. It's called Give Me Sun. As you guys can see, this is quite orange. So this is better if you want something that's going to give you more warmth to your skin. So I just like to do a little bit of this just around my forehead. And I just pick up a little bit and I just brush it on top of the contour just to warm up my cheeks. Otherwise, you'll end up with a really warm forehead and then your cheeks will be all grey from the contour. Okay, and then I'm just going to bake my face just a little bit. I'm going to use the Dermablend from Vichy. This is like a new translucent powder that I got, but I've been really liking it. I've used it a couple times. And this is literally just a setting powder, but it's quite fine. The powder's really nice. It doesn't look too white on the skin. I'm going to use a powder puff. This is from MAC and I need to clean it. I'm going to scrunch my powder puff up and I'm just going to pick up some product. And I literally just bake underneath my eyes and I kind of narrow out my nose at the same time. So I literally just go right in here first, right inside my inner corners, and I just go underneath my eyes and then I just push down just slightly. I just go literally on the edge of that contour, and it doesn't really matter if you put on loads of powder or a little bit of powder. It's just an excess of powder that you want to put on that you're going to sweep away in a second. And I mainly do this wherever I get really shiny. So it's mainly around my nostrils. I normally get kind of crease creasy on my laugh line, so I'll make sure I set that. I'll do my eyebrows as well with the powder puff, whatever's left on here. And with a powder puff, what it does, it just literally pushes the powder into the skin and make sure the oil doesn't come out so fast. What you can do is just pick up a little bit of powder and just clean up your contour line as well. So mainly here, I want it to be a bit softer. Okay, so after that the baking powder's been sitting here for about 15 to 10 minutes, I'm just going to use a big brush, any brush will do, and just kind of sweep it. I always sweep it downwards so it doesn't go all in my eyelashes, you know. I just use whatever's on the brush and I just buff it all over into the skin to make sure there's no harsh lines whatsoever. So what is missing, guys? You guessed it, it's the highlighter, girl, because at the moment my face looks quite flat. Don't you think? I need some like shine back into my skin because everything is looking all matte and I need everything to pop. So I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty 3D highlighting palette. This is in the shade Golden Sand. And then just with my finger, I'm just taking Fiji. And this is just going to give me a light base for the highlighter. And this is really nice because it doesn't ruin any of the powder. It's a really nice cream so that the powder will go on really blindingly. So you guys see the cream's quite subtle. It doesn't really add much pajam, but this is just a prep for the highlighter. It's a two-step system. And I'm going to go in with Seychelles highlighter. And just on top of that highlight, it just adds that extra pajam jizzle. Woo, 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 yeah. Every time I do my highlighter, I have to make some special effect. Just on the highest point of your cheekbone, that's where you do it, guys. And then also on the tip of my nose, top of my cupid's bow, just letting the edge of the bristles just literally run down my nose. And then just with this darker colour here called Tahiti, I'm just going to bronze my forehead just a little bit, just on one side. So when you turn your head, it's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, are you blinded yet, bitch? Okay, and then just on my cheeks, I'm going to use the final colour called Zanzibar, which is this one here. And this is like a pinkish kind of blushery colour. And this is just going to go in the middle of the highlight and contour, just to give my skin a bit of sheen. I wouldn't recommend this if you have quite spotty cheeks, because it is quite a glowy blusher. Just to finish this look off, I'm going to go in with Gerard Cosmetics Buttercup Lipstick. I'm just going to put it all over my lips. It's like a really light pale nude. Okay, and then just to finish off, I'm going to set everything with a makeup fixing mist. This is from Pixie, and you have to make sure you shake this product up, activate all the ingredients to make sure it's super long wearing, and then just do a fine mist. You want a good setting mist so that it melts all the highlight, all the contour powders, everything together, so you don't look really heavy and too powdery. Alright guys, so that's it for this makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love wearing this makeup look. Whenever I'm going out, I want my skin to be flawless, long wearing, still slaying, but still stay matte in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Comment down below what else you want to see from me, and if you learned any tips from this tutorial, make sure you subscribe and hit your notification bell so that you don't miss any of my uploads. I upload every single Wednesdays and Sundays on my channel. Make sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. It's just xThuyLe on Snapchat, Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Enjoy the bloopers, guys. Shine moisturizer. You just want to look and see. I'm so sorry for this bang in the background. My neighbour is freaking hammering. Great. So many people are banging outside. So annoying. Yes, I like it. I like the coverage, guys. Hurry up. Drilling. What the hell? It's like a horse running around. Oh, motorbikes. Girlfriend. Oh, am I looking cute yet?